everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this weekend something exciting happened. This channel now has 1,000 subscribers. So I really wanted to thank all of you for making that happen. It was pretty exciting. And for all of those who are new to this channel, if you like this channel, do subscribe. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about the Nudestix lipsticks. These lipsticks are the ones that I have. They are matte lipsticks and I bought a bunch of them. Well, not bunch of them, 3 of them. A couple of years ago, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, the mini pack, and they had 3 lipsticks which I ended up liking a lot and I wear them a lot, but they are expensive. They are $26 a pop, so I did not buy a lot of the other ones that I wanted to buy because I already had so many nude lipsticks. But this year on the 4th of July weekend, they had a 40% discount sale, so I couldn't resist myself, even though I'm really not buying lipsticks because you're constantly wearing masks these days, but still I couldn't resist because they are transfer proof. So even if you're wearing a mask, they don't really transfer to the mask, so I think they're still wearable. So I ended up buying a couple of them. So today I'm going to be swatching them and reviewing them. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the Nudestix lipsticks look like this. These are like these pencil sort of lipsticks, and they come with a sharpener, and the sharpener has a cap. And each lipstick comes with its own sharpener, so that's great. I have like an abundance of sharpeners now because I ordered so many lipsticks. So these are, like I said, $26 a pop, but I got them I think for $15 each, which was awesome. Now the shade selection on these is shades that are very wearable on the daily, and they're perfect for office wear. So I actually wear these a lot when I go to work. I usually work from home, but whenever I visit my office, I usually carry these with me. I really like these lipsticks. But one thing I will say that the formula on these lipsticks is not consistent. Some of the shades behave differently compared to some of the other shades. So I will swatch them and tell you which ones are like my favorite and which ones are like weird. So I'll start with the Burgundy shade. Yeah, the Burgundy shade. This is like the most beautiful and the most horrible lipstick ever in this Nudestix collection. So I'll first apply this and tell you why it is weird. But before that, you can find out why it is so beautiful. So let's see. I love this shade, really pretty. Feels really good, and it's such a beautiful maroon shade. Now when I apply this, it just applies super matte, so again really pretty. But after some time, this shade just crumbles, so you will feel a little bit of tackiness on the lips first of all, so it's not the most comfortable one, but that's not the main complaint with this shade. If you eat something, or even if you don't eat, when I first tested this lipstick, I just applied it, and a couple of minutes ago, say 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, it just started to crumble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and I'll show you how it crumbles. Okay, so I think around 5 minutes have passed by, and I licked my lips a little bit, and now you can see this is becoming weird. And I do this a lot, like use my tongue to moisturize my lips. That's kind of a habit, and especially when I'm wearing matte lipsticks, I do that a lot. And you can see that the shade is starting to change. It's becoming more brown compared to more red, and you see that it's just drying. And I'll just give it a couple of more minutes and you will see it just come off just like that. I'll be back. Okay, so I think 2 more minutes later, I'm just doing this, and it's just there's particles coming off, and I can just take it off just like that. It's so drying, and I think the word here is crumbles. It just crumbles away. So yeah, that's kind of how Burgundy is. It's such a pretty shade, and it's just so disappointing that it doesn't stick around on the lips. But yeah, that's how it is. So that's Burgundy. Let's try another one. The next one I have is the Stiletto shade. This is a red lipstick right here. But before I do that, I forgot to swatch the Burgundy shade. So this is Burgundy. Oh, such a pretty shade though. I think I have to find a way to still get some use out of it. Maybe apply Vaseline and just apply for the shade. Maybe not for the matte feeling, but at least for the shade, because it's such a pretty shade. Now this one's Stiletto. It's a lovely neonish red shade, and I'll just apply this on my lips. This one doesn't feel dry. It's pretty moisturizing compared to the Burgundy shade. All right, so this one's Stiletto, and when I dab my lips, it doesn't feel drying. It's really moisturizing, and still it looks super matte. So it's a very nice neon red shade, something that is very wearable yet very bright. Like I really enjoy this red one. I think it looks good on my skin tone. So that's Stiletto. The next shade I have is, it's called Pixie. It's this very light shade, very nude. So that's Pixie. And this is one of those lipsticks where you can apply this on your cheeks as well. But it's such a light shade that I don't usually apply it on my cheeks, but you can always dab it if you want. I'm just gonna apply this on my lips. So this shade I bought as part of that 3-in-1 thing. So this is obviously very light for my skin tone, but I usually use this shade for you know, lightening my lipstick. So if I apply a very dark lipstick and I just want to mellow it down a little bit, I use this shade. So you can always apply this with a lip liner and I think it'll look great, but usually I use it for lightening a lipstick. So this one's Pixie. So the next one I have is Belle or Bella, I don't know. This one's also a pretty light shade, and it's one of those shades again that you can apply on the cheeks as well. Again, it's pretty light, so I don't apply it on my cheeks. But if you're lighter than me in skin tone, you can always apply it. This one's super creamy, absolutely fabulous formula. Very wearable, not drying at all. So yeah, that's a pretty shade. It's got a little bit of coral in it, very slight coral sort of undertone, and I love this. Really like this shade. So that's Bella or Belle. So the next shade I have is called Purity. This is a lovely shade. It's one of my most favorite shades in the collection. It's not at all drying. I have used this a lot, and it's like really dark brown, but not that brown. It's got a little bit of pinkiness under it, and it's so wearable. It looks good on every skin tone. It does look good on mine. So I'm gonna apply this now. Oh, love this shade. Like, this is one of those shades that if you're in a hurry and you don't know what lipstick to wear, just apply this and you're good to go. I actually ended up buying a backup of this, like a big size lipstick, because I'm running out of this, and this is my second one, by the way. Yeah. So that's Purity. The next shade I have is called Boho. Now, I don't like this shade. I thought it'll look good on me, but it really doesn't. It's this very dirty brown shade. Now, when it swatches, it looks pretty good, but when I apply this on my lips, it looks a little bit weird. And maybe with some specific outfits and with a mixture of some lipsticks, it might work, but just on its own, it looks a little bit weird on me. So let's see. So yeah, it's okay. It's kind of a grayish nude, and on some people it looks really good, but on me I don't think it's the best shade. So yeah, that's boho. The next shade I have is Greystone. Again, this is very similar to boho, and when I was trying to buy these, I couldn't really decide which one I wanted, and because they were on sale, I ended up buying both. And this one also looks a little bit, again, weird on me, but not so bad. And what I'll do is I'll compare this with boho. This one's like a darker version of boho. Again, it looks very weird on my skin tone. Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe in this light. You see that? Yeah, maybe with some outfit it might look good, but just like that, it looks a little bit very weird. So this is Greystone, and I want to try something here. So I will try that Pixie shade and see how it works if I try to lighten this with Pixie. I haven't done this before. No, I don't like it, not one bit. Yeah, so that's Greystone. So before I try the other lipsticks, I want to compare boho with Greystone. So I'm just gonna apply, this one's boho, so I'll apply that on half of my lip. So that's boho, and here I'm applying Greystone. You know how in Hindi movies you have nagins? So that's what I look like. I look like a nagin. I'll put a picture of a nagin here for those who don't know what a nagin is. But I honestly feel like that's how I look in this shade. Now let me change the light and see how it looks in the other lights. So that's the white light. Again, really coffee dark for me. But yeah, that's the boho compared with Greystone. So the next shade I have is called Freckle. It's a lovely brown shade, and that's what it looks like. Oh, it's so pretty. It resembles Purity in terms of intensity, but it's actually more red, and Purity is more on the pinkier side. So that's how they compare, and I will compare them on my lips as well. But first I'll apply this shade on my lips. Oh, it's really creamy. It doesn't behave like the Burgundy shade, doesn't crumble. Super smooth. Yeah. So that's Freckle. Okay, so I have wiped off half the Freckle shade and I have Purity here. I'm just gonna apply it. So yeah, that's how they compare. This one's definitely lighter and much more creamier. This one's more dry compared to Purity. This one's definitely darker as well, and it's more red brown versus Purity. So that's how they compare. So the last lipstick I have is called Retro. It's again a very beautiful matte, kind of dusty red shade and really creamy, and I've ruined it a little bit, but never mind. So that's Retro. Again, it kind of looks like Purity, but then again, this is much more darker. Purity is lighter, and this one's more red. Purity is more pink, and Retro is more deep reddish brown. So that's kind of how they differ. Now I'll apply this one. Lovely shade. Looks really nice and matte, and it's very comfortable. So I kind of was glad that I ordered this one, because this kind of resembles Burgundy, but it's not a sucky formula like Burgundy. So I was pretty happy about this one. In fact, the day I tried this one, I was doing household chores and I did my entire chores in this lipstick, and it survived the day, and I was just so happy with this one. So this is again one of my favorite shades in their collection, apart from Purity and Retro. So yeah, I really like this shade, and this is Retro. And just to compare Retro with the Freckle shade, this is Retro, I am applying Freckle here. So maybe on the camera they might look a little bit similar, but they're definitely different. This one's, like I said, very brown, and this one's a little bit red, kind of red. It's more like a deeper Purity shade, much darker Purity shade. So yeah, but they feel pretty similar. I think Retro is much more creamier compared to Freckle. And Retro is one of those shades where you can apply that on your cheek as well. Whereas this guy, Freckle, is more just for the lips. So yeah, that's how they compare. Now I'll clean this up and share my final thoughts. Alright, so I decided to apply Retro on. Now my final thoughts, I actually really like these lipsticks. They are not as amazing as, let's say, a Lisa Eldridge or a YSL or a Pat McGrath matte lipsticks, definitely. But they're right up there. Like, after those luxury brands, I feel like this is a really good brand for matte lipsticks. I feel like this is how matte lipsticks should look like. And they kind of give you that feeling that you've applied liquid lipsticks, but they are much more comfortable than liquid lipsticks. Because when you apply liquid lipsticks, they are intense, and that is the kind of intensity that these lipsticks give you. So that's why I really like them for matte lipsticks. But they tend to be dry. Not all of them, but some of them are more drying than the others. Now, Nudestix has a very weird return policy. You cannot return a used lipstick. So now why would you, or how would you rather decide whether to return a lipstick without trying it? So they make it almost impossible to return something. So that's something you have to be careful about. So yeah, if I could, I would return these three lipsticks. That's the Boho, Greystone and Burgundy, for different reasons. Boho and Greystone, I don't think they look really good on me. They're okay. I think Boho is better than Greystone comparatively, but yeah, they kind of look weird on my skin tone. But Burgundy is such a pretty shade, but it just doesn't work. And I think it doesn't work for most lips, not just mine, because I was reading on Sephora and a lot of people had similar reviews for this one. So yeah, it seems like that's the common theme, that this formula for Burgundy shade just doesn't work, even though the shade is just beautiful. So yeah. Now my favorites are Purity, definitely, and that's why I have a backup of that. I really like this red Stiletto lipstick as well. It's kind of a vibrant, very wearable red matte shade, and I kind of really enjoy this shade as well. And the other one is Retro and Freckle. So those are also like one of my favorites from this collection. So I'm so glad I bought these. They are soft, and even you can wear them for a longer time and just feel comfortable. Usually matte lipsticks are not that comfortable, but these are, and you don't get that feeling that you're wearing something that's, you know, drying your lips. But I will say that as the day progresses, you will lose some pigment. but it won't look ugly. You will lose pigment in a decent manner. But you'll have to reapply these lipsticks definitely. Purity shade, I feel like it works much better than the others, but I think the Freckle and Retro shade you might have to reapply because they're darker shades. Darker shades usually take a little bit of reapplication, otherwise you'll get to see this inner lip section and it just looks horrible. So yeah, that's definitely needed, but I still enjoy these shades. I feel like these are really, really pretty. And yeah, so those were my final thoughts on the Nudestix lipsticks. So I hope you like this review. I hope you like the swatches. I hope some of these shades work out for you. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. And I hope you subscribe to my channel. And until the next time we meet, bye. So after filming, I'm having my dinner, and my dinner is basically chicken and wine. So as you can see, this lipstick is fading pretty graciously. And so yeah, I thought I'll share this quick update. All right, see ya.